Well, hello folks, this is Carb Day, and we are back at Indianapolis. One of the most enjoyable days of the entire year. Welcome back to IMS, the final opportunity for teams to tune their cars and get them race running for the greatest spectacle in racing. Coming your way this Sunday. It is cloudy, it is cool. We've had sprinkling of rain this morning, but for the moment at least, it is dry.
For me, it's not really an issue to have it being my first race because we have so much practice here. So I've already been in the car for 4 or 5 days. We've had a lot of running. Yeah, the race environment's a little bit different, but I've also been doing it a long time. So I would much rather have been racing for the last 2 months, 3 months, because that does, get you warm. But this race is so unique in the fact that we have so much practice, and I have been out there in race trim and running full stints and doing all those kinds of things. Things like pit stops. We even get some time to practice pit stops. We get it during the practice week. We get it during the race week as well on the Monday and Friday practice. So, the guys can get warm. The guys can get loose in the pit box. But yeah, it's always, I would say, a little bit harder as a one-off to come in and go up against the guys who are doing it all the time. I think my strengths are bravery and just being willing to fight it out. I will never give up until I'm dead. I think for me, my weakness, I would love to be a little bit more tolerant from like lap 27 to 32 on tires. I think there's a little bit of late stint issues that I've had, and it could be in the car, it could be myself. I just feel like I kind of know this track and know the event and know where I want to be and know how to get there. And no matter what team or what situation I've been in or where I've started, we've been able to get to the front. So it's pretty consistent, thankfully. It's really hard to describe, honestly, because only 33 of us get to do it, right? Like, I can go outside right now and shoot a basketball, throw a football, and know that I'm not going to play either of those sports professionally. It's something that I can't tell you to go out and do, and you can get even a grasp of what we're doing at the highest level. And, hurricanes are 120 mile an hour winds or 130 mile an hour winds, and we're doing 230, and the wind is still gusting at that speed, right? And we're creating wind. And when you have 33 cars starting, that wind situation, that hurricane that we create is like a giant suction cloud into turn one, and so you're being pulled into the corner. It's a challenge, and you have to be able to hold on to things at certain times and literally prevent yourself from having a massive impact, because your tires are going to be worn out at some point, but you got to keep going for another couple laps. You're trying to make adjustments in the car every single lap. When you have a little correction to the right at 220, if that goes 1 degree more, you're hitting the wall at 100 Gs, and that really hurts. It's cool that people care, honestly, because I care so much about what I do here. I mean, this is my entire life. It's what I live and breathe. It's the only thing that I want to do, and I wish I could do it for forever. So the fact that people care that we're out here doing this is really cool. And if you can represent for them and give them something to cheer for, it reminds me of when I was a kid, because I cheered for drivers too. So I think that's just a really special moment. And it is hard to sign everything and do everything, and I do have to get places sometimes, and I feel bad that I've got to get going, but I definitely do my best to just do everything, because at the end of the day, this only lasts so long. If you get to the end of it, you're like, dang, I'm gonna miss that. So probably got to enjoy it while I can. Last year literally was exactly what you wanted to do. Like, you're in the front all day and you're just there and you're saving fuel, you're with the right people. That was the strategy to win. And the cars that I was around most of the day did win and finished second. So you kind of know what to do, but there's still a gambling element to it, right? You got to make the right calls at the right time. The strategy side, I have to nail everything on the pit stops and not make mistakes. So there's so many things that can happen, but I do feel like I've learned, so much about just patience in general, just not really worrying about a ton of things until we get closer to the last 2 pit stops or just even the last stop, and then we kind of know what the mission is. So I feel good, feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm honestly just excited to get it going again. I think it's such a fun event. It's such an exciting event because you really never know what can happen during it. There's always something that happens where you're like, well, how did that happen? Last year Scott McLaughlin crashes before the race even starts. You're like, what? There's all kinds of things that are just, you never know what'll happen, and people try to go off strategy, so you just got to be prepared for anything.
Drivers, start your engine!
This is more than a race. It's not about points. There is no podium. Only victory matters. Anything else for the under 32 is abject devastation. This is their chance to write their name in history, to cross the bricks, to drink the milk, to win the Indianapolis 500. This is the greatest spectacle in racing. We have green, we're racing, and Alex Palou takes us to green. The front row lined up behind him, and Rossi takes the move immediately to the outside to sweep into the lead.
We just need to have a lot of clean pit stops, 5 or 6 clean pit stops. We need to be smart about when we pit, and we need to just kind of keep an eye on the situation around us. What are other people trying to do? We need to make good fuel mileage. And, I have to just stay out of trouble. I'm so confident in this race car already. Like, it feels really good, which is just so nice to have because I've been in situations where I'm not sure what it's going to be. And we have to make the right adjustments during the race. We have to, really pay attention to the conditions. If the conditions are really hot, we got to adjust for that. If they're more similar to what we've been running in during the practice week, then we got to make sure we adjust for that too. So it's putting all the puzzle pieces together. We've got a lot of the pieces right now. We've got them on the table, but we've got to make sure that we assemble them in the right way.
But in second place, Conor Daly lost his ride at the start of the season. This is a one-off race for himself, for Dreyer Reinbold Racing. They are mixing it with the 2 biggest teams in the history of this sport, and he and they do not look an inch out of place. He can't surely think about it. He does, and here comes Daly to the lead. Listen to the crowd.
Brilliant pass.
Indiana's favorite son leads once again at the Speedway.
Wow, I have not seen racing this fierce in the first 33 laps for years. Now remember, Cal Cullen is almost out of fuel. He hasn't pitted. So in the next 3 or 4 laps, I would expect him to come to pit lane, but he wants to reclaim the lead from Conor Daly.
You don't need to look at the pylon and know who's leading. Just listen to the crowd as Conor took the lead there.
90 laps left in the Indy 500. The mid-pack is nuts, and Alex Palou really trying to lead.
And Conor Daly is having a look at the back of Joseph Newgarden. Lucas to the front. Daly makes the move now on Joseph Newgarden. Up around the outside and into 3. Lovely. Now Daly.
Great job, P3.
Behind Malukas as Palou takes the lead once again.
I think Conor wants to sit here in 3rd in this sweet spot. He said, I'm going to go big for a lap and a half, and then I'm going to tuck in and wait. Conor Daly looking strong right now.
And I want to give you a quick update. The biggest mover since that last restart, Conor Daly, up 6 spots. He went on kill mode up to 3rd, and I checked with the team. He had talked about his left side mirror got knocked off by the fueler when they made that stop. Well, they were able to repair it, so he's got vision and he's got speed.
I don't know what it is, but I do enjoy, using more space on the track than others maybe, and trying to be a little bit more adventurous than others, because you gotta to make things happen, you got to sometimes do it yourself. It doesn't just, come to you. So I've learned that over the years, and I feel like I've learned where I can use this car in a bit of a different way than others, maybe. But I also have literally nothing to lose. Like, this is it. So you go big, or send me home in the hospital. Like, that's just what it is. It doesn't really matter to me what else other than trying to win this race, and that's all I've got. So
Daly running in the top 3. This, without a shadow of a doubt, the most consistent, impressive, and overall, I'd say, fastest race car he may ever have had at the Indianapolis 500.
And that's saying something. He's led 83 laps of this race coming into today, but again, this is one of those drivers that really stood out throughout practice week of being comfortable running in traffic, being able to make moves further down in line than just in the top 2 or 3.
Malukas will take us back to green. Palou will again want to go with him.
Green.
Daly always so quick on the restart, and he's already up and with the defending race winner, who moves to the outside, and Malukas tries to defend, but it's Daly on the inside. Daly to the lead, Daly to P1, and Dixon goes with him.
Clear.
Malukas drops back. McLaughlin in second.
Daly not backing down though, not letting the champ get through. He keeps his foot in it, stays on the gearbox of McLaughlin. That shows Conor's here to fight, man. I like this.
Conor Daly and several others taking advantage of a clean racetrack. The sweepers doing their work as Conor Daly takes the lead at the Yoda Bricks.
The sweepers doing their work, Daly doing his work. Back into the lead, McLaughlin holds steady in second. Palou can find no way through. Dixon fourth, Ericsson is up to fifth. And Palou again wants to go with them. Goes tight! That is so tight down the front stretch and into one. Daly falls to third. Palou up to second. McLaughlin holds on. And the reason they are fighting tooth and nail over this lead is that if rain comes at any moment and this race doesn't restart, whoever is leading will be declared the winner. It's no time to hang back. You go now.
Four now.
Here comes Marcus Ericsson on Dixon as Daly goes to the front once again.
Daly to the lead. McLaughlin now having to defend from Palou. This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. 55 lead changes for the day.
Outside. Here comes Palou.
3 wide and Palou from third to first.
Wow, man, this is remarkable for Palou to know exactly where McLaughlin was, and now Conor Daly all the way back to fourth as David Malukas goes to the point.
Honestly, I feel really devastated. It's probably been the most painful one that I've felt in a long time, just because it was such a good day for us for the most part, and honestly, there really wasn't anything that went wrong. It was just a strategy that wasn't the one we were on. No fault of really anyone. The guys behind us gambled, and we finished fourth on our strategy, but it just wasn't meant to be today. The way it worked out was actually really cool because we didn't have to save fuel. A lot of lead changes, just me, Palou, McLaughlin, and Malukas just kind of fighting for it. And it was kind of what we wanted it to be. Those are the people we wanted to fight against, that we really were never under attack from behind. But I knew people were on different strategies because I saw them pit during the yellow. So there was a lot of fuel saving going on. We might have trimmed out a little bit too much, but the way it was supposed to work out is those guys ran out of fuel because they had to make a really long stint happen. And we were going so fast when we set fastest lap of the race, like the car was just hauling. But yeah, these things just, they don't work out sometimes. And that's just why motorsport's so difficult. I really just want to keep doing this job. I feel like I fight my butt off to try to, win this race. And every year I'm up at the front. And I'm just, I can't do that without the team. It's up to the team to, give me the car to compete. And it's a lot of fun to do it. And I feel like I've got a really good chance every year. And it felt like, once again, we were in the right position to win the race. But it just didn't work out. So, it didn't work out for a lot of other people too, obviously. But yeah, it just really hurts because you don't know how many you get to do. I still feel really proud about just leaving everything out there. I just try so hard to be in the right spot, to put ourselves in position, to make up spots when necessary, to go where people don't go, to do stuff that people don't do, to try to just create, success for this team. And they deserve such a good day today. They did a great job for me. And, I made a little mistake on the second pit stop, but we made up for it after that. It's just tough. Everything has to go right. And it didn't today. So I hope at some point I don't have to say that anymore, because it feels like no matter when I show up to this race now, and over the last few years we've been at the front. So I'd like to keep doing it, but I also want to do that every weekend. I want to be in this series full time, and I want to be competing for races every weekend. And so that's my goal.